Fam, Bob Cigar Guy, Travelers Rest, South Carolina, and I am bored out and wide open. Let me fix some stuff real quick. Let's get some lights going. Oh my goodness, now am I blue? I'm blue. Da ba dee da doo doo. I've been so busy. I've been so busy, right? I've been crazy busy. The car mill is just cranking. Responsibilities be responsibility in, family be family in. I mean, it's just life is great, but it's hectic. And so I've been working my tail off at the car mill. Let me fix that microphone or that thing right there. I work my tail off at the car mill. I have bored out and wide open. And smoking cigars has been a luxury for me extremely lately. This unbegotten Bronzeback. Let's get serious. If we're gonna smoke a cigar and we ain't got many cigars to smoke, many opportunities to smoke them, let's smoke something that we know we're gonna like. And I love this Bronzeback. I know the construction is going to be great. I know the draw is going to be flawless, and I know the flavors are going to be flavorful, right? But it has. It's. I haven't smoked any cigars other than doing reviews or podcasts or whatever, or while I'm editing and uploading in a couple weeks. I've been working every day at the mill, 10, 12 hours, and so doing content. It's easy to do the content. It's not easy. It is easier to do the content when you're doing reviews, right? If I'm reviewing a cigar, I just look up the research on the cigar, and then I just kind of write down my notes, um, binder filler wrapper, and then I just go at it. No big deal. I mean, it kind of does itself, kind of. I think you ought to review cigars, but when you're doing this content, which is um, created content, things I have to think about, I don't have to think about how good this is, but I'm glad I do. So with the creative content you have to think about, you have to come up with an idea, you have to come up with a plot, you have to come up with a theme or whatever, and you have to come up with a idea. And usually I've got ideas on my phone, and I've already got them queued up from things I thought about earlier, stuff that's stuck in my head, and then I can just go with that. But lately I've been drawing out of that well a lot more than I usually do, and so there wasn't anything really in there that really fit, right? So I'm sitting there this morning. I'm being honest with you. I'm being transparent. Sitting there this morning at my toolbox, waiting to clock in to go to work. I get there an hour early. I'm a true believer of, if I get a flat tire, I better have enough time to call somebody to help me or change my tire so I can still be to work on time. I've got that job because they need me there, and I need to be there so I can keep my job, right? Old school. And I like to get in there and just kind of chill for a minute and work myself into the day, telling myself that you're good enough, you're strong enough, you can do this job. And it's been crazy lately at the plant. But anyway, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know. I don't want to waste their time, which I've wasted 3 minutes of your time talking about this. I don't want to waste their time. I want it to be memorable. I want it to be impactful for somebody. Maybe not everybody, but somebody. I want it to impact somebody, maybe in laughter, maybe in introspection, maybe in something to share. I don't know. Maybe in stupid knowledge that you could have conversations at your local lounge with your friends. But I want to have some meaning, right? I wanted to have some meat and taters to it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm flipping through. I do the Facebook thing where you watch the little short videos. I don't do TikToks, but I'll do Facebooks and YouTubes. And so I'm looking at those, and stuff's coming up. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. No, that's cool. And then there was one that really, really, really just kind of punched me in the face like a brick, hit me like a brick. That's why it's called Hit Me Like a Brick. It's also clickbait to get you to think I got hit by a brick. You're watching it for that. If you're watching this because you thought I got hit by a brick, all right, boo on you, but I'm not getting hit by a brick that I know of. Not that you couldn't tell looking at this, but this is all natural. Except a broke nose way back when. Anyway, this really hit me. I didn't think about it. I mean, I talk about the concept, but I never put it together like this in an illustration. And it was really solid. And it's going to be stupid in the beginning. So listen to it. Let me talk about it real quick and then chew on it. So this lady's talking. I don't know who she is. I ain't never seen her before. This lady's talking to a interviewer, and they just kind of jump in right at that point where she's telling this thing, and she goes, "Somebody asked me if an apple tree dies before it produces an apple, is it still an apple tree?" Let me read that one more time. Let me say it one more time to the people in the back. If an apple tree dies before it produces its first apple, is it still an apple tree? Now that sounds cute. That sounds, Confucius say. But really, if you dive into this and you start thinking about this, and I was so glad because I listened to the rest of it, and she really touched on the exact same kind of things I was talking about. She says, I want to write a book. I want to be an author. And so the person said to her, start calling yourself an author, even though she hasn't written a book and she doesn't think that she could be a good writer. She wants to write, but she doesn't think she'd be a good writer. He says, start calling yourself an author. Because if an author is what you are, it's what you already are before you've written your first book. And if you die and you never write a book, you will still be an author that did not live up to the potential. And I could see that dog hunting. I could see that if you wanted to talk to somebody about encouragement and motivation and making things forward and and getting started and getting out of your own way to be successful. If you want to be a police officer, tell yourself you're a police officer and keep striving to be a police officer. And if you're truly meant to be a police officer, you'll be a police officer. And if you're never a police officer, you're just a police officer, never as a police officer or fill in any gap. But I want to take that farther. You, and I mean this. Oh, Lord. Oh, boogity. I mean this. You were created perfect. You were created awesome. You were created for greatness. I mean that. Oh, oh, out of all the things I mean, oh, that's up there. I mean it. That's who you are in your DNA. If you never do great things, if you never make a difference or an impact, even though in your DNA, you are an impact positively to this world. If you don't, that doesn't mean that you're not. Just because you haven't had that breakthrough, just because you've listened to the world tell you you're not, that doesn't mean that you're any less than great and perfect. Even if you don't believe it yourself, it doesn't matter. I used to tell kids that would talk about um, that you can't. All truth is relative to all sorts of people. I say, you know what? I'll tell you what. You tell me that you don't believe in gravity. You climb up onto that second flight, you jump off. You still gonna fall. Gravity don't need you to believe it. Gravity's gravity. And so I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you may not believe that you're awesome. You may not believe that you are great. You may not believe that you have potential that is untapped and unsurpassed. I don't care if you believe it or not. I hope you do, but that doesn't change who you are. I mean that. I'm sitting here talking to a flat screen, whatever you're watching, in a microphone that's been recorded. I wish I was sitting right in front of you and you could hear me right in your ear. You are awesome. You make a difference. Now, don't be selfish. Don't keep all that awesomeness to yourself. You have a purpose. Do what you can do to fulfill your purpose. Allow yourself to be loved. Allow yourself to love. Allow yourself to make a difference. If you have to get out of your own way, do it. Do not let anybody, including, don't let me, don't let you tell you you're not good enough. And I can say that 100 times. I don't need to. The world needs you. When life gets hard, you are made for this. When things get rough, you are made for this. When you make decisions that cause you to have consequences, you can battle through this. And when the good days come, you're made for that too. Those days are yours, and your best days are not done. They are waiting for you. Go get them. Share. I needed to hear that today. Maybe you did too. Maybe you know somebody who does. Do me a favor. I don't care about how many views I get. I just care about how many people hear. Share this with them, if you would. Tell them yourself. You can do it. I believe in you. I do. I love you. I'll see you later. Thanks, Steve Soccer, for giving me the opportunity to share my heart. Because this episode is brought to you by Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. And this umbagog, I sure needed it. I got long weeks ahead. I'm glad you're here. I'll see you later. Later, Tater.